Batman vs. Superman is coming out in 2015. Should be a good fight. Superman can shoot laser beams out of his eyes, toss skyscrapers around like Tic Tacs, and fly so fast around the planet he can reverse time. Batman has a Chinese star in the shape of a bat and some rope. The problem I have with Superman is that he's way too powerful. Sort of like the Federal Reserve. Takes the challenge out of it. To this day, I have no idea why he ever even joined the fucking Super Friends. That'd be like God partnering up with Geraldo Rivera, where live on television they crack open Jesus' tomb, only to discover a few Coca-Cola bottles and milk crates and the skeletons of Palestinians brutally slaughtered by the occupying Israelis. Let's see, there's Aquaman, a guy who can talk to fish. And this complements Superman's supreme godlike powers how exactly? Aquaman, what's the latest report on what the fish are saying? They keep saying the same thing over and over, Superman. We have mercury poisoning. Wonder Woman had an invisible jet, but after a wild night of booze and blow, she forgot where she parked it. She had it narrowed down to a 500-mile radius around Vegas, but last word on the status of the invisible jet is that Iran recovered it and managed to reproduce a prototype. But the photos released by Iran state media of a dirt patch on a runway remain inconclusive. So who knows? Actually, the Federal Reserve is way more powerful than Superman. It can transform worthless pieces of paper into infinite wealth and lend it out at interest, thereby creating infinite scarcity to control all of humanity. If Superman ever did fight the Fed, he'd be swallowed up by a black hole of endless debt and be reduced to hustling blowjobs for rent money and eating his own cape. Might even have to get a job working at Walmart. Which could work out, seeing that Walmart doesn't allow its employees to wear capes. Speaking of superheroes, Obama, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, recently bragged that he's really good at killing people. And he wasn't kidding. To complement the old-fashioned traditional ways of brutally slaughtering people directly, like with a drone missile, Obama offers a progressive approach to the fine art of eradicating as many people as possible. He can kill people by canceling their health care insurance and bankrupting those who still have it. And those who can't afford ObamaCare are subjected to fines extracted by the IRS, yet still receive no health care. Fining poor people for being poor is a great way to kill people. So I have to concede his rather pompous statement that he's really good at killing people. Change is a barbed dildo. I read it from a fortune cookie. I was in China when I bought that fortune cookie. I didn't have a choice. In China, you have to buy a fortune cookie with every meal that you eat. Otherwise, the Chinese government fines you. Apparently, the Chinese government is in bed with the fortune cookie bankers, but I don't want to get into that because it's just going to get me all riled up. Obama's idea of health care is neither healthy nor caring. It's obviously part of the New World Order plan to exterminate 90% of humanity. 90%. Can't these guys be a little more subtle and make it something like 89%? Apparently they're oblivious to basic marketing techniques. If I'm shopping for a knife at Walmart to slit my own throat, because I'm at Walmart, I'm more inclined to buy the one for $1.99 over the one that's $2. That's just the way human psychology works. But who needs cheap Chinese knives when we have ObamaCare? We're going to see people dropping off like flies. Flies feeding off the carcasses of dead kids that Obama drone bombed. Blown to bits by the follow-up drone strike targeting the rescue workers. Yes, people, flies can be collateral damage too. There was a news story about a cancer patient who was choosing death over ObamaCare. And to that guy, I gotta say, I admire your thriftiness. ObamaCare costs way more than death. And that's the only difference. And if this is too much truth for you Obama bots to handle, go ahead and tell me to go fuck myself. People tell me to go fuck myself all the time. And I tell people to go fuck themselves all the time. The irony is that if we could fuck ourselves, we'd keep fucking ourselves till there's nobody left. Sort of like what we're doing now with government, like a dildo, to compensate for our inability to fuck ourselves directly. There's a lot humanity can learn from the earthworms. So what if they're vulnerable to rain, which forces them to seek sanctuary on sidewalks and roads where they get zap-fried by the sun? They live in peace. And they can fuck themselves.